Hi! I'm recording this the day after achieving my Kickstarter goal, which was 108% funded yesterday. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, pledging, cheering me on. It's been an incredible journey, and I absolutely could not have got here without you. And it's in itself, the process has definitely been about asking and giving, and I've always tried to do everything on my own, and so I think this is one of the main reasons why I did this Kickstarter, was to force myself out of my comfort zone and break through something that has been blocking me in my art practice for many years, and the reason why it's taken me so long to release music that I'm happy with and begin the launch of my career. So thank you for kickstarting my debut album and helping me to move forward. I did go out last night and celebrate, so I am feeling a bit worse for wear today. Hopefully I'll be able to speak slow enough and clear enough for to make this vlog interesting. The reason that I wanted to record this vlog, apart from saying thank you of course, and to share this moment with you all, I really wanted to capture everything that I've learned before I forgot it and before I move on to the next stage in my journey. It feels like such a special time that I just really wanted to take a moment to reflect and share back. I imagine I will continue reflecting in the coming months, but certainly for anyone who's interested in doing something like this themselves, I wanted to share my journey with you and the process that I went through and the things that I learnt. So take what you like and leave what you don't. But this is my Kickstarter journey. So I'm going to talk about building a story, about breaking that story down into 7 practical themes that you can use throughout your Kickstarter, your 30-day, your Kickstarter campaign, however long that is. The budget, setting the Kickstarter goal, the monetary goal, creating the Kickstarter project, bloggers and press, website, mailing list, creating cards that you can give to people, telling everyone about it, and keeping people involved as much as possible along the way and sharing your journey. And then finally, to end on some mental health, which is always key for me as an ex-mental health nurse, but really just to look at those things that help me to get through it. So those are the key elements that I'm going to talk about. And let me know of any comments or queries that you have, because I got so much out of this process, and if I can help you in any way, then that will make it even more worth it. So, building your story, I've written down here, find an honest friend. So somebody that you trust that is honest with you, that can be honest with you. And expect it to be a difficult journey, because you want them to ask you all the horrible questions that you don't really want to ask yourself. I mean, obviously this is up to you how much you do and how deep down the rabbit hole you go. But for me, my experience, and I think this, looking back, was really helpful, I got to the point where I kind of wanted to cry. And only then, once I'd been completely broken down, could I then start building on some really strong foundation. And I think a real key part of this Kickstarter success for me, has been that I've felt very authentic and genuine throughout. And I've been quite clear about why I'm doing it. And I think that was because Dave helped me to face that in the early days. And then we made a video from that, and we got around to shooting the video. Because we'd gone through this, we just laid it down in a few takes, because we already had everything ready to go and it was all very clear. Obviously I've been practicing with video blogs, talking to a camera, so that will have helped. But anyway, from there, it was about, for me, building on the 7 themes, so breaking it down into 7 themes so that I could build on them. So just really at the early stages, I think, once you've got your story, just start thinking about the 7 themes. For me, I had album artwork, I had producer, I had music, I had the launch event, the Kickstarter pledges, so I sort of had these themes, and it's great to be able to, because you are communicating this constantly, it's great to have different things to talk about. So I think the more you know about just having, the more 7 themes you've identified before you begin this, because once you do start, I think it is a bit of a roller coaster. So the more preparation you can do, the better. So figure out your story, get a video, try and work out what 7 themes you might be able to talk about in different ways over the 30 days through social media. And it also helps to build up your story as well and give people coat hangers to hang things on, because people don't have a lot of time as much time as you have to understand your project. So the more coat hangers, the better, I think. Having a strong image, you're going to have to look at this image again and again and again. I don't know if you can do this on the Kickstarter web portal, but if you can get 4 strong images that you can change once a week as you distribute. So this is the main picture that goes on your Kickstarter. I don't know if you want to change it, but anyway, regardless of that, having 1 strong image that you're comfortable with. I was fortunate enough to have Lauren Pisachet take my photo, which I love. But it is, even though I love it and it's one of my favourite photos of me ever, it's still a photo of me and my project. And yeah, so the more you love that image, the better. So the budget does include postage and packaging. So when you're working out how much to put into your budget, how much you need to achieve, make sure you work out roughly how much it's going to cost to send things out. It's difficult to know how many people are going to back it and things like that, so you can't know for sure. So just put in some kind of contingency for that, because it does come out of your final amount that you reach. So postage and packaging, include that in the budget. The monetary goal, there's some debate around this, and if you're looking into doing a Kickstarter or some kind of crowdfunding campaign, well, maybe this is more applicable actually just to Kickstarter, that because you have to achieve your goal or you don't get anything, there's a certain amount of drama around how, if you put in quite a lot, then it becomes a little bit like, it felt a little bit like X Factor at times for me, like quite a lot of drama, and there's some debate about whether you put in a higher amount, people are more likely to take you seriously. If people put in a low amount, people aren't going to take you as seriously. But my conclusion from that is that if you put in a lesser amount, then if you've got a massive fan base, then you might want to put in a bigger amount, and that's probably a realistic goal. If you don't have such a big fan base, maybe put in a lower goal, and then you could always exceed it. It just takes the pressure off a little bit, I think. It was pretty hit and miss about whether I was going to achieve my goal. But that was absolutely my journey, and I wouldn't change anything about it. It's been incredible. Yes, you can start creating. On Kickstarter, you can start creating a project draft. You can start creating a project draft straight away, and you don't have to commit to it, and you don't have to launch it. But you can keep previewing it. So you can just have a look, set up an account, have a look, see how your project's looking, until you're ready to launch it. You do need 4 days between sending it for review on Kickstarter and getting it launched. So remember that there's a 4-day. That delayed me by a week. I'd prepared everyone for this date, and then didn't realise I had to send it for review. But there's plenty of other portals, not just Kickstarter. Indiegogo is pretty good for these kind of things, and there's a lot of great spaces. People have sent me messages about other ones, so do have a look around before committing to a crowdfunding portal, because they're all good in different ways. I didn't really do much research, but Kickstarter's, I found it really straightforward. People commented on how it supported, how comfortable they felt putting money onto it because of how efficient and organised it seemed. So I had good feedback about it. But yeah, I think there certainly are some really great other crowdfunding portals out there. But anyway, I'll try and stick to my process and what I learned. Website, having a mailing list was really helpful. So getting people onto your mailing list before you launch. So sending out an email to all your contacts and messaging people on Facebook or whatever it is that you use, and just telling people this is what you're going to do, and to join your mailing list to find out about more about the Kickstarter and to join you on that journey. I think I did send out more generic emails on the day of the launch to just forward the link. So a little bit of spamming, but it's difficult to know how to gauge it really. So you do what you do. And I set up a Facebook event page, which I found really helpful because people that were on that page more often than not were there because they were interested or they wanted to support me, and they were okay to get sort of a certain amount of notifications about it. So I found that really helpful. I found Facebook, my personal page, it was quite nice to talk about things that weren't about Kickstarter. So I think it's nice not to become completely a crowdfunding person. Anyway, I found that helpful. I'm tired today. I should wrap this up, I think. So there are the 7 themes really helped me to communicate on Facebook, Twitter, and really to have different ways of sharing this journey that I was going through, and it helped me to stay focused on the goal of what it is that I'm trying to achieve. So I get to explore album artwork, which I absolutely have to do. I get to explore finding a producer, which I absolutely had to do. It's kind of so talking about that has been great. And mental health, as you can see, I'm quite tired. It's been a roller coaster of a ride. You get people who you know really well not really getting involved, which is absolutely as it should be. This is the most important thing to you, and there's going to be lots of people who you care about who aren't going to have time to invest in this, time or money. But over a period of 30 days, you do kind of wonder, why aren't they getting involved? But then to kind of the polar opposite of that is someone that you never thought would get involved, gets involved. And so you have this kind of bizarre experience of a roller coaster, as well as feeling tired and wondering why I ever started this in the first place, and is it still a good idea, and all of those questions. And I think that certainly for me, the most important part of this process was learning to ask, and the whole process of giving and receiving. I've always just tried to get on and do my art myself, and it was the reason why I did it. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone and learn to seek support, because I think when you're chasing dreams, you do need support. It's impossible to do it without support, whether that's monetary support, whether that's time support, whether that's idea support, whether that's cheerleading support. We can't do things on our own. So thank you so much for supporting me and for helping me through this journey. I do feel very emotional about what I've gone through. A massive source of help for throughout this journey has been Amanda Palmer's book, The Art of Asking. So thank you, Eric, for recommending that book. I've thoroughly enjoyed reading it. Haven't finished it yet, but I look forward to that. And she really helps you to explore this uncomfortable feeling of asking for help, and especially as an artist. And really turns it into a joy. Supporting one another is a joy. Huge amount to learn there, and I look forward to exploring that more, because I've had a few light bulb moments about it. So hopefully I can be a pioneer of support. Backers, meeting new backers on Kickstarter has been so amazing. Having their feedback and their comments. These are people that don't need to get involved in my project at all. They can just walk away, but they didn't, and they sort of saw something in what I was doing and wanted to be a part of that. And so there's a huge amount of surprising joys in lots of different places. And overall, I am humbled by support and people willing to share and their time and money and ideas. So that's me done. I am going to go and rest now. I'm so glad I managed to get this out before I moved on to the next part of my journey in the studio over the next few weeks. Going to take a holiday the week after that, and then I'm going to be looking at creating backer rewards and building up to the launch and creating my debut album, the artwork, the CD, and yeah. Thank you so much for listening, and do get in touch with your ideas and comments and questions. If I can help in any way, I'll do whatever I can. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.